first time we've had to put a mask on because the pollution's pretty bad here in Varanasi. So we're all masked up, look! Hello!
How come some people can wear these and look alright and we look, I just look like a complete dork?
Good afternoon and welcome to our Varanasi blog, which is a blog about Varanasi, and it's also an update as to how we're getting on so far backpacking around the world with children and what challenges we've been facing. So
We've just completed our 5th week, so we've been travelling for 5 weeks.
yeah, it's been 5 weeks now. So how are we getting on? Really well so far. We all seem to be managing really well, considering, because backpacking with children, backpacking anyway is really challenging. There's so many things you have to think about and do. Booking transport, working out where you're going to go, do you have enough money, what's the weather like there, things like that.
And Tilly always needs you in the loo. Can you just give her the key to get in?
Oh. Right, you take her.
Sorry.
Here you go. So no, but
They're not going far, by the way. We're on the rooftop of our accommodation.
So the girls have been really resilient, and it's not all been plain sailing. They've had their moments. We've all had our moments. It can be tiring, frustrating. Everyone can get angry and touchy at times. The kids can play up, just like you'd experience at home. Sometimes it can be.
Sometimes it's just tantrums in a different country.
Yeah. So, firstly, day-to-day routines. Well, we don't have any day-to-day routines at all, none whatsoever.
Not time-wise, anyway.
Not time-wise. We get up. We aim to do some schoolwork over breakfast or around that sort of time, because earlier on in the day is easier. The kids are a bit more tolerant. It's cooler. They're a bit more focused, so we try to squeeze it in then, if possible. On travel days, which there's been an awful lot of travel days recently, we've been moving about quite a bit, which is what we'll talk about more in a minute. It's difficult to get things in, so learning may be structured around on-the-go activities like
Rather than on paper.
Yeah, like counting currencies, reading signs, reading things like that, lessons about what we're doing and where we're going, or history and things like that. So we try and cram in what we can, and just leave it there, pop it on the table. And
We miss you a lot.
And that's how it works.
But also on the long train journeys, as you've seen in our photos before, we do end up doing some reading and bits and pieces. That is a good opportunity to do some schoolwork.
Yeah.
If the scenery's not too good to be looking at.
Yeah, and and the girls, it can be difficult for them to stay focused on schooling, so you have to try and make it as fun as possible. Sometimes we have to make it into games, but we try and do what we can to get in the learning that we need to, or the learning that we think's adequate for them. And on a round-the-world trips, it's not about sitting down doing lessons for 3, 4, 5 hours a day.
It's about lessons on the go, why is this person begging, or
exactly, yeah.
How much money do I need to buy this bracelet, or
So it's working. Evie's enjoying her reading, she's enjoying learning. Tilly is she's learning basic numbers, basic letters, basic lessons about life. And it's a bit easier. It's a bit more gentle with her, because she would only be in foundation, which is kind of majority playing and developing classroom skills like sitting still on a mat and this sort of stuff. So she's not missing out much.
And Evie's actually really good with her. She's teaching her bits and pieces and helping us to teach her the way that she was taught at school as well.
Yeah. Today's a school day.
Tilly, you're gonna be punished.
Why is that?
She's been growing up too much.
Why has she been growing up too much? Because you've been doing loads of good work, haven't you, Poppet?
She's gonna be punished.
Show us your as. Is that what you've been practicing with your as today?
Tell people what you've drawn. What have you drawn? An apple.
Apple.
An ant.
And Amy.
Brilliant. And Eve, what have you been doing? Writing about
We went to Mother Teresa's house. It was fun. We went in her room. It was small and very pretty.
Good writing, Poppet. Well done.
Good. And you've done your spellings.
And Mummy's
as
done
well.
us some spellings as well.
And I got some new spellings I did.
Yeah, but you still got the 2 words that I gave you ages ago. You've been practicing those ones again then?
Yeah, just to
Cool.
make sure it wasn't a fluke.
You can show us go?
Okay.
She can't do a go on camera. Go on then. Show us your go.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, that's a go.
And me, it was my desk for my toy.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? We're going to crack on with some more work and
Look at
we'll
mine.
see you all soon. But, you know, not having a structure to your day and a routine for the children, it has its pros and cons, you know. Bedtimes can be difficult sometimes because, you know, it may have been a busy day. We may not have got back from sightseeing or whatever it is we're doing, or Mum may not have arrived at our destination until late, and we have to wind down and, you know, and try and fit dinner in and try and fit
Preparing the room.
shower in and bath in and washing in, and there's things you have to throw in there, but they're used to it now. Like they're used to they're used to not having a routine. They're actually used to India in the sense that when we first got here, you know, it was chaotic, it was busy, it was noisy, and even though it's still the case, they know what to expect more now. And we think even though they are finding parts of it difficult, like the noise and the attention they're getting, they are getting more used to it and they're actually settling into it. So we think the next couple of months will be a bit easier for them, but
Hopefully.
but we don't know. So meal times again is can be difficult.
It's been a bit easier recently because we've been in places that offer more continental food, more
Yeah.
Western food. So they've had the odd pizza here and there and pasta and stuff. So they've welcomed that with open arms.
Yeah, and that's good. Evie sat down and had a dal this afternoon. She enjoyed eating that, which is
It's a lentil dish.
a massive step forward because, you know, she's trying more things, and she does try a lot of things actually. Evie's really good. Tilly, you know, she will only eat vegetable pilau rice and her rotis and, you know, her Western dishes and things like that. But we are encouraging her.
Sorry, she learns from Evie. So once Evie's starting things and trying things more on her own. So lunch today she went at Evie just took our dish off us and started eating it. So yeah, Tilly will start to learn from that and copy her because she's the world's biggest copycat.
Yeah. So moving on, how are we finding India? Just don't ask me about washing, because washing seems to be the blight of our lives at the minute. Just
Especially with Tilly.
constantly cleaning clothes.
We've got washing out here now.
It's just like a never-ending conveyor belt. Mummy seems to think that she has to put 2 washes on a day at home. I don't believe her. In my opinion, she's only putting one wash on a week, was it, or something?
I think Dan's a little bit more frustrated with it because he doesn't understand the amount of washing I do when we're at home. It just mysteriously gets done. But now he's having to do some of it himself.
Yes.
So this is why
When we get home,
Dan
we're
is
gonna
a
make
little
up
bit
our
upset about the amount of washing we have to do. But it's
When
no
we get
different. It's definitely
own. When we get home,
way less washing than we do at home.
Unfortunately, Evie was sick for a couple of days. She had a sickness bug which lasted a couple of days, and
More in Darjeeling.
that made us realise that we're not superhuman. We're not
You're annoying.
immune to, you know, the diseases and bacteria that are present here, and it just
Despite
showed.
all our
And
hand
it
washing
just showed that we were so extreme and so vigilant with how, you know, kept ourselves clean, our clothes, you know, hand sanitizer, always washing, the way we ate in busy restaurants. We never used to, you know, even if you got a plate, someone gave you a plate in a restaurant and it was wet from where it had been washed, we'd even clean the plate first and the cutlery until we were satisfied it was dry and there's no more washing up water left on it. We were so vigilant, but despite that, Evie picked up a sickness bug in, we think Kolkata. She was sick for a couple of days,
It could have been because of the shower water.
Yeah, we're thinking maybe it could have been.
Shower.
Yeah, we had a hot shower, and the girls have been playing in there for ages, and we think she may have drunk some of the water. We're not sure. We're still finding beautiful places to see. We're still finding gems that we find interesting. We're still enjoying, the train rides. We're still enjoying what we're seeing.
I'm lucky. I haven't got bitten once.
Evie hasn't got bitten once. They must not like her at all, because Evie literally has not been bitten one single time in 5 weeks by anything. Tilly's been bitten a few times. We've been so vigilant with her, but she has unfortunately been bitten a few times. I've been bitten only a few times, and Mummy's been annihilated by everything as usual.
I'm taking one for Steve.
And so we're being a bit more vigilant. We're trying to wrap up more. We apply mosquito cream. We bought so much mosquito cream. We should have taken out shares in Odomos, because we buy like a tube a day, and using that. But it's working. We're keeping them away. Everyone else seems to be getting bitten, and we seem to be doing well, which is good. One more thing, actually. One small thing that what I found about travelling through India is the cost of everything is actually a lot more than it's not a lot more. It's more than we expected. It's a lot more than what it was 11 years ago. When you factor in what the cost of inflation would have been over the years, etc., in my opinion, it still doesn't add up. Accommodation has gone up so much recently that it's
I think the accommodation is
disproportionate to what what the inflation rate would be that you'd expect. It seems crazy. Probably because what Nick said earlier, a lot more Indians are travelling.
And we were travelling off season last time.
Not completely.
It was before the monsoon, so it was a lot hotter.
Yeah.
And also we were getting walking rates rather than pre-booked rates. Because we're with the girls, we can't be walking around and just asking what the rates are in each place. We're generally booking it before we arrive.
Yeah. But we're actually still under budget, which is cool. Fortunately we set a budget, and
maybe we'll do a video on budgeting.
yeah, so we're actually under budget, despite it being more expensive than what we thought. The budget we set out that was obviously to accommodate any increases in price, but overall we're still under budget, which is cool. We're managing the money pretty well.
I just want to hang out, chill out.
We're not going without. We stay in, I suppose what you call budget to mid-range accommodation.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, I was laughing at when you say we're not going without. I think I've probably put on tons of weight since we've been here, because we're having like 3 massive meals, because
no, but
food's just so cheap.
We stay in, I suppose, budget to mid-range accommodation, so not too rubbish and not too nice, somewhere in the middle of that. We have 3 good meals a day. The kids have snacks in between. We get a lot of taxis. This time around we get a lot of taxis or autos, because the girls can only walk a few kilometres at a time, so it makes sense to pay out for autos.
Well, when we were at home, I could run or walk 5 kilometres, but now it's got quite hotter. Very hot.
No, the girls do running well actually. Tilly walks a lot more now. Yeah, Tilly, both you walk a lot more.
Tilly, have you had fun today? Have you? No. Why not? Tell me why not.
Because we have to walk.
Because we had to walk. And what else? Anything else? Or is it just because you had to walk?
It's because I just had to walk.
Oh.
All day.
All day? It's only 12 o'clock.
Mummy's sweaty as well. Nah.
Yeah, I'm really sweaty too. It's very glamorous.
But we do pay out for autos because it's just easier, whereas if it had been 2 or 3 kilometres, me and Nick would have walked 11 years ago. And we still would do if we didn't have the kids.
When we were in Kolkata the other day, as we went up to Darjeeling, we got a taxi from our place to Sealdar train station. And as we were working our way through the manic traffic at a snail's pace, I said to Dan, I think I recognise this. This looks familiar, and we realised that actually we'd walked it when we were here last time. We walked the whole way from.
We're talking about Varanasi at the moment. Moving on because we haven't much time left. So unfortunately, Uttar Pradesh, the state that we're in, where Varanasi is, has experienced a hell of a lot of rainfall in the last couple of weeks. It's been really good, glorious weather for the last 3 or 4 days, but prior to that, it rained so much it's flooded here. And you may even seen reports on the news about places in UP and Bihar where people have died and been swept away by the floods and that sort of stuff.
It's a
So-
record-breaking year for monsoon rains, and the monsoon should have finished before we even got here, and actually it only finished about a week ago.
Yeah. So-
Hopefully finished.
Yeah, so what that means for Varanasi is the ghats here are still completely flooded. The ghats are what we came to see, which is where all kinds of things go on in Varanasi. You know, people do ceremonies into the water.
The other night people had loads of fire and they were dancing.
They have-
Yeah, that's the evening prayer.
They have religious baths. They have all kinds of religious activities down on the ghats. They socialise. They play cricket down there. They do
yoga.
They do meditation and all sorts. But unfortunately, it's been flooded. Literally, you can't even get nowhere near the ghats because they're so flooded that you can't get nowhere near. So,
Well, I think we're lucky because actually it was up into the streets a couple of days ago, so that it's receded a little bit. But the main area, the thing that you come to see in Varanasi, is underwater at the
Yeah,
moment.
obviously it's about the ghats.
Only in
For us, it's about the ghats and what happened at the ghats. The lanes of the old city. You know, it's not somewhere where it's full of flies. It's not really somewhere I find enjoyable to be myself.
I would rather.
Not that bad.
But I would rather.
We just thought we'd show you what the lanes are like. There are some interesting things here to see. If you can see them past all the poo and the bikes and the people.
And the spit mark.
Yeah, and the spit mark. So yeah, we'll have a look around. Some people cooking things, food. Huh? No, in my bag. Look, Tilly's a bit sweaty today. Hot and sweaty.
Cow poo.
Cow poo, dog poo. Lots of things to dodge in this Oh look, haven't seen that before. Let's just jump over here. Maybe. And hidden away and everything, there's another little temple. Oh, and a porter. Oh, fresh jalebi. Oops. Bikes, motorbikes.
We tried to find busy restaurants. The busy restaurants are the best places to eat because that means the food's good.
Oh, and hopefully we won't.
End up in a not very busy one.
Oh, hopefully we won't get poorly. He's making idli. Look, he's going to put the rice all in there, and then he's going to put it in the steamer.
That's really pretty in there.
Lots of nice things in that shop. Oh, they're repairing the road. Things. So the spitting here is quite a big thing. They have this stuff called pan, which is made from a pan leaf with loads of herbs. I think it's got betel nut, and I'm not quite sure what it is that stains it red. It might be the betel nut. But they chew it after a meal, and it makes you salivate quite a lot. And then
Disgusting. They spit it everywhere. It's rank.
and then it gets spat everywhere, even in hotel rooms,
You get it up the walls, in the streets, on the buses.
on the trains. Yeah, we had to cover some up so we could sit down on the train, didn't we?
Spit mark.
Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere, and I think it's the norm, so no one really quite sees how disgusting it is.
The thing about spitting is it spreads a lot of airborne diseases like leprosy. Apparently that's caught through like breathing and aspiration.
Then you have nice things to look at too, shrines and things. There's surprises around every corner, aren't there? Some of them nice,
Yes.
some of them not so nice.
So yesterday,
Well, careful. Sorry? Yeah, I think we need a drink. Do they do a gin and tonic?
Look what we have. We had those chocolate croissants this morning. They were nice. And last night was it
Do you think we can get something nice from in here? I think we need lunch first. Right. I'll catch you later.
It looks like these.
Hey, we go have it. No. They had got this on the menu.
What are they saying? Ryan.
Hello.
Have you seen a dog riding a bike?
No, have you?
Yeah.
Where?
There.
Oh yeah.